All right, we'll now call to order the January 8th, 2024 meeting of the Hayden Planning and Zoning Commission. We have roll.
You got it. Commissioner Joel Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Brandon Bemis, he's absent today. Commissioner Keith Gibson,
Here.
Commissioner Mary Howard. Here. Commissioner Ben Prickett, I believe he's absent today, and Vice Chair Sean Taylor.
Here. Stand for the pledge.
I do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looks like we have one correction to the agenda. Tonight's consent calendar agenda item 2C, the PZE numbers for the Hayden Sky preliminary planned unit development written recommendation should be referenced as PZE 23-0115.
Okay. That's on the consent agenda.
Correct.
Okay.
That's on the consent calendar. And do we have any conflicts of interest tonight?
No.
Okay. Now, do we have any discussion on the consent calendar?
No.
We have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent calendar as presented with the one correction.
Okay. We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pass. That's our first. So it looks like we have a public hearing tonight for the Trail Creek Estates subdivision request, case PZE 22-0129. Donna?
So yes, this number does start nearly 2 years ago. The numbers start off with the year and then the project number. So this project did start a couple of years ago. So the location is the northeast corner of West Dakota Avenue and North Ramsey Road. The development team, as the applicant engineer of record, are Eric Olson of Olson Engineering, and Jeremy Tazuli is here to present on their behalf. And the owners are Justin and Laurel Kerr. So again, as a kind of a reminder of what we're looking at, the existing zone is residential suburban, and the future land use map shows the property as mixed residential. So when you saw this proposal previously, it was concurrent with a zone map amendment request from residential suburban to mixed residential. And the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the zone map amendment, and you recommended approval of the Trail Creek Estates subdivision. When the zone map amendment went before City Council, the City Council denied the request for a zone map amendment, effectively holding the subdivision. So the applicant is coming back. They have changed up the subdivision request, reducing the number of lots in conformance with the residential suburban zone designation. So the request here tonight is a request for 10 lots in the residential suburban zone designation, and a private road request will be heard before the City Council for Remick Street. So the format and the layout of this would be contingent upon that private street request. So this is the proposed plat as revisited. This is North Hubble Street. It would connect to the subdivision to the north. Remick is proposed to be a private roadway, and the lots would not have any access onto North Ramsey Road or West Dakota Avenue. So where did I leave off? So the subdivision request, the existing conditions, the property exists today as 2 legal lots on 1 tax parcel of approximately 6.4 acres. There is a single-family residential structure on the property with the usual outbuildings. And the proposed subdivision is for 10 lots with lot sizes ranging from half an acre to 0.69 acres with an average of 0.524 acres. And again, that no individual access onto North Ramsey Road or West Dakota. So with that, I'll turn it over to the applicant. So which slide? This one?
Before we start, has anyone had any ex parte communication with the applicant or general public regarding this case?
No.
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 Good evening, Commissioners. Jeremy Terzulli, land use consultant with Olson Engineering on behalf of Justin and Laurel Kerr. I don't have a presentation for you tonight because this is a very straightforward request. So I'm going to be incredibly brief. Otherwise, it would just be very redundant to what is in Donna's staff report. These are our conditions of approval for a subdivision request pulled out of Hayden City Code. And in essence, 1 through all of them are simple yes or no answers. And when we brought the subdivision request before you a year and a half, 2 years ago, all the infrastructure was in place at that point in time. Very little has changed in the area. When you're designing a subdivision that's adjacent to an existing subdivision, it tends to make things very easy. All of our infrastructure, all of our gas, power, water, sewer is all stubbed on Hubble Street. I pointed out in my narrative that we did make an attempt to not connect to Hubble, as some of the residents up there felt that there was no need to. It's a requirement put on by city staff that we do have to connect there. We tried to do a loop back out to Dakota Avenue to avoid the private road or a cul-de-sac because the Public Works Department doesn't exactly love cul-de-sacs. We went with a private road instead because we felt these are going to now be larger lots. Typically, those will be shop lots, and this will allow some flexibility with regard to perhaps secondary accesses to shops, those types of things. As Donna pointed out, no additional access is off of Dakota or Ramsey. 10 lots, every one of them is over, at or over a half acre, which is required in the underlying zoning. Donna pointed out too, we actually took the city council's denial and we did appeal it, and they upheld their original decision, in essence stating the owners knew what it was when they purchased it, which is residential suburban, so they should develop it with that underlying zoning. So that's exactly what we've done. That's my brief little description. Kind of the final condition of approval, number 8, is that the developer has made adequate plans to ensure that the community will bear no more than its fair share of cost to provide services, paying fees, furnishing lands, etc. All impact fees are going to be assessed to this property. That includes parks, that includes streets, that includes the new Northern Lakes Fire Protection District impact fees that they've recently implemented. Should be noted that all of the roadways, all of the frontage improvements along Dakota and Ramsey, those will all be borne by the developer. They will pay for every stick of pipe that goes in the ground, all of the sub-base. Additionally, the city can ensure, and its residents can ensure, that standards are going to be met that are put forth by the city engineer, because the city of Hayden requires full-time engineer oversight on a project like this as infrastructure goes in. That gets paid by the developer as well. So, like I said, I'm going to be as brief as possible. That's my spiel. I'm here for any questions if you have them, but I felt that the staff report was very thorough, and I'm just here to, in essence, affirm everything that Donna put together in that report. So with that, are there any questions?
I just have one question on your private road. Will you have the same swells and whatnot as you do on Hubble?
It won't be exactly the same, because we're not going to be required to build the robust street section that is a public right-of-way, but they will, in essence, sheet drain probably just to one side and have this stormwater treatment in a drainage and utility easement along the roadway.
Okay. Will it be wide enough because there'll be shop lots, will it be wide enough to accommodate trailers and that kind of stuff?
It'll likely be a 24 to 28 foot paved section. And as you can see, it's going to be private. It will be maintained by, we'll have to put together a road maintenance agreement and an HOA. So it'll be maintained by that HOA. As far as width, 24 to 28 foot is ample
Sufficient.
for a circulation aisle there. And if you look at it, most likely, these two lots are gonna access off of Hubble. And so you're looking at 5 lots that are gonna be using that roadway. And with half-acre lots, you probably have long driveways and
Sure.
good turnarounds and stuff like
Okay,
that.
thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right, I will be here if you have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
So summarizing the staff review, conditions 1 and 2 talk about infrastructure constructed to promote public health, safety, and welfare. And the second one talks about the infrastructure can be constructed and located in an orderly manner that accommodates ongoing maintenance. And those are really addressed throughout the staff review. So part of the subdivision conditions of approval require will serve letters to be provided from both the water purveyor and the sewer purveyors. Those were originally provided in July and September of 2022, and both of those were updated in November of 2023. Northern Lakes Fire Protection District provided comments for construction in November of 2022 and identified that their comments are still relatively relevant, even just for 10 lots. The project site is located in the H6 sewer basin, and Moonridge Estates to the north is stubbed to the south in anticipation of this property connecting. Staff identified that the sewer adjacent to this subdivision within Dakota Avenue shall be constructed at the time of any future development. And stormwater and snow storage shall be reviewed at the time of construction plan review in accordance with Title 8. So if you place that subdivision over the top of the aerial to try to get a feel for what that looks like, this is the connection, Dakota widening, Ramsey widening, and the private road.
Is the H6 built?
Not yet, but Moonridge Lift Station to the north, when H6 comes on board, it will drain into H6 across the street.
Yep.
So can that lift station handle?
And the will
Additional.
serve letter does identify that.
Perfect,
yes.
thank you.
Street names and addressing shall be reviewed by the city at the time of the final plat review. Ramsey Road shall be constructed to the half width of a modified C2 typical section. Dakota Avenue shall be constructed in accordance to a C1 typical section. Internal public streets shall be built to that ST 111 and 111A typical section, which has the curbs and swales and sidewalks, as you identified. Private roads typically have some sidewalk, but they do have swale, generally only on one side, to reduce that footprint as well. All required improvement shall be in accordance with current city standards. Drawings including the ped ramps, sidewalks, stormwater facilities, etc. Geohazards shall be reviewed during construction plan review, and no parcels again shall have access to the exterior roadways. Mailbox location shall be located on those internal public streets. And again, the existing zone is residential suburban, which provides for single-family residential on larger lots with minimal agricultural uses. The setback table is shown on page 5 of your staff review. It's also shown here. So effectively the difference between residential suburban lots and single-family residential R1 lots that you're most customary looking at is the minimum lot size, again, that half acre. And the accessory or the secondary buildings, the shops that Mr. Truzulli identified, instead of having a 5-yard rear and side yard setback, they're required to have a 10-foot rear and side yard setback. So goals and policies of the comprehensive plan are identified on page 8 of your staff review. Talked about a variety of things from mixture of land uses, densities, and housing types, developing inside the corporate limits, protecting existing neighborhoods, ensuring that all development can be serviced by existing public facilities or extending to adequately serve the development, establish a balance between jobs and housing to attract new employment, living opportunities, ensure that ordinance and policies don't violate private property rights, and then promote and encourage the development of quality housing and housing options. And policies could include development should be compatible with the land use chapter of the comprehensive plan and fiscally responsible. City infrastructure improvement projects should aim to improve all above and below ground facilities and utilities. Improve those pedestrian, bicycle, and vehicular safety along city streets. Coordinate and support local water and irrigation districts. Ensure levels of public services. Minimize financial and operational impacts resulting from road improvement projects and maintenance. And ensure the land use and zoning is compatible with the Coeur d'Alene Airport. So all on and off-site improvement shall be required of the developer. Extension of infrastructure per the adopted city code standards and plans, mitigating improvements as required. So the noticing, they've been noticed twice. The first one for the previous submittal and the second one with this submittal. And so in total, those 20 agencies were noticed twice and we received comments back as identified here. So the Coeur d'Alene Airport requested an navigation easement in October of 22. Kootenai Electric had no comments. Panhandle Health District had no comments. Hayden Lake Irrigation District, they had a will serve, an agency, another agency response, and another will serve. In all cases, they said they had full support. Idaho Department of Environmental Quality had no environmental impact comments in October of 22. Northern Lakes Fire Protection District provided comments for future development in November of 22. Kootenai County Sheriff's Office identified that they had no concerns at this time, and that was in November of 23. And Harbs did want to make note that there is a force main at the intersection of Dakota and Ramsey, and that they would need to be part of the conversation, November of 23. Do you have a question?
No, is that anything that would concern us?
It's just part of the process. So if you're along a road where there is a force main, you need to get a permit through the Hayden Area Regional Sewer Board to do work in that right of way to ensure that you don't hit the pressure line.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So we have received no public comments prior to the public hearing here tonight. That's why you didn't get a memo after the fact, is because there wasn't anything to give you. And so the staff recommended conditions of approval began on page 9 of your staff review. They are summarized here. So dedications and easements should be on the plat, joint stormwater requirements, easements, maintenance, et cetera, if those are necessary with that private road. Permits from outside agencies, that would be the Coeur d'Alene Airport, Panhandle Health District, Idaho Department of Environmental Quality, Hayden Lake Irrigation District, and the Northern Lakes Fire Protection District. This approval runs with the land. So if you were to approve, yours is a recommendation to the city council. And if they approve the project with 10 lots and this preliminary plat, and the owner decides that they want to sell it the next day, then this approval for this 10 lots in this configuration remains the same through those changes in ownership. Access conditions of approval. So again, that goes back to no access onto Dakota and Ramsey, and the final location of all accesses are approved by the city. For the construction plan requirements, the construction submittal shall include Ramsey Road to be constructed to a C2 typical, Dakota to a C1, the internal street of Hubble to an ST 111 and a 111A typical, REMIC, if the city council approves the request for a private street, to a private street typical standard. All required street improvement shall be in accordance with the current city standard drawings. So a street is the pavement, it's the curb, it's the swale, and it's the pedestrian path or the sidewalk on either side. That's the right of way. And then the typical also has a utility easement, snow storage, roadway, stormwater easement behind that. That's the typical standard drawing. Erosion control measures shall be in place. Developers shall use Hayden sanitary sewer in accordance with 2020 sewer master plan. We'll need to have something in the file from the U.S. Post Office regarding mailbox location as part of the subdivision construction plans. A dry grass mix shall be applied until individual lots are constructed and installation of landscaping requirements are met. That's so the topsoil doesn't blow across the prairie and into the neighbors due northeast. Street frontage landscaping, irrigation, maintenance requirements. A good portion of these lots are double loaded lots, so they have street frontage, public or private, that they're getting their access from, and then they also butt up against Ramsey and Dakota, so they have double fronted lots. So that'll be addressed in there as well. Removal or demolition of those existing structures, that requires permits to do that, whether they're moved off of the site, whether they're demoed and trucked off, or if they're burned in place by a test burn from the fire department. Requirements, should the existing residents remain, when we review the construction plans, will ensure that they're meeting setbacks where their driveways are accessed from, stormwater, sewer, underground. All the utilities are placed underground for all of the structures in the new subdivision. So then I've got the next few slides are the standards of approval. They're also in your staff review, kind of in their entirety, far easier than the umpteen slides. And so the Planning and Zoning Commission may recommend approval with conditions. Whoop, not that one. That's the zone map amendment. Sorry, missed that one. You can recommend approval with staff recommended conditions of approval with conditions, so you can amend any of these or add or delete or modify the conditions as proposed in the staff analysis. Or you can deny the request for the preliminary plat approval of the Trail Creek Estates subdivision. I stand for questions.
I don't.
Okay. Which slide would you like me to leave up?
Standards of approval.
Standards of approval.
Well, there's not, there can't get them all on there. You can get like the
Okay.
first two.
Okay.
Do you want that one left up?
Maybe the plat.
Okay. That one?
There we
Yes,
go.
please.
All right.
Thank you.
Did we have anybody sign up for?
Not that I know of, unless you want to announce it, see if we have any last minute ones, but I didn't get any.
Anyone who wants to offer comments regarding the subject case, please submit a completed form located on the table by the entrance doors. The forms must have your name, address, date, and whether you want to testify in support of, opposed to, or are neutral. Anyone planning to speak must do so at the podium so your remarks can be heard in the recording system. All questions and comments will be directed to the commission, not the applicant. The applicant will have the opportunity to answer questions and offer a rebuttal after all public testimony is completed. All speakers will need to state their name and address for the record before they begin speaking. I will call first those supporting the application, then those uncommitted, and finally those opposed to the application. Please note the commission is not here to answer questions. Anyone? Did you sign in?
Because I accidentally had the city council.
If we get you to sign in and then, yep. No, just sign in on the sheet there.
Because I accidentally had city council open instead of us. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be long.
Bring the form up to us here.
Don't you need this, the whole thing?
Yep. you.
Ada Voigt,
Aida
Is that-
vote. Aida vote.
Aida Voigt,
Yes.
would like to speak, and she is neutral on the proposal.
No, and I just, honestly, I just had a question. I have the property that sits right here. So all I was just curious is what is happening with the fence when that wall gets broken through to continue Hubble? So all of the other fences and so forth between the houses are fences and then a corral to the end of the sidewalk, or to where the sidewalk ends. So I'm just curious what's happening then when that wall, when that cul-de-sac gets broken through. I just wanted to know.
It'd probably be best if you guys have a conversation after the
Okay.
meeting,
Okay,
and I'm sure that Mr. Terzulli would be happy to chat with you about that.
perfect, all right.
Thank you. There's no rebuttal for that, I'm guessing? Does anyone on the commission have any further questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. The hearing is now closed. No further questions or comments will be allowed from the public. Do we wish to proceed or schedule deliberations for another day?
Proceed.
Proceed, okay. Anybody have any comments?
You got that number?
Yeah.
Keith?
Pretty straightforward. We already said yes once.
Yeah.
Lots got bigger, houses got small, the number of
Lots became less.
houses got smaller, so
Okay.
I'm good there.
I love to see that mix of offerings that usually goes smaller is bigger, and I think that it'll be a good subdivision.
Okay. John?
I like it because it seems like a bigger neighborhood, so they had more time to dot more i's and cross more t's.
Okay. Yeah, I think they've met all the standards of approval. It's residential suburban. as we
Absolutely.
Haven't seen much lately, it's, half acre lots. I think the only thing I would maybe want to add to the staff recommended conditions of approval is that so the approval runs with the land, but once the approval is granted, there could be no further subdivision of the lots in case somebody.
They'd have to do a replat. And a zone change.
In a zone change. But if zoning changes in the future,
That would be applicant driven.
I mean,
That's gonna be protected by code.
okay. What if residential suburban were to change in the future?
I can't see the city coming in and changing the residential suburban to a different zone. That would be an applicant driven application again.
Okay,
And remember, your conditions of approval only run until the build out is complete anyways.
okay, okay,
You're gonna have to rely on code for that.
okay. I'd like to make a motion.
Unless the other end wants a turn, I'm happy to.
Go ahead.
Make a motion, the PZE 220129 Shell Creek Estates, that we recommend to city council to approve with staff recommendations.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Okay,
we have a
yeah.
motion and a second.
I'm getting there. Okay, so we've got Commissioner Mary Howard
Yes.
and Vice Chair Sean Taylor.
Yes.
Okay,
Need a vote from the other two.
even though they motioned and
Yep.
approved. Okay, see, I'm getting back into the swing of things. All right.
They can't vote
Commissioner
against their
Joel
motion.
Johnson
Aye.
and Commissioner Keith Gibson.
Yeah, aye.
Okay.
Okay, motion passes, recommended approval to city
Okay.
council. And now we are on to new business. Thank you.
Happy New Year to you too.
And if anyone was here just for that, they're welcome to leave
Jeremy,
as we.
Don't forget.
are you gonna chat with her
All right, now we are on to new business. election of the chair and vice chair for 2024. Anybody have any ideas here?
This is another motion?
It would be another motion, yeah.
Yeah, I make a motion that Commissioner be Commissioner Taylor and Vice Chair be Mary.
Commissioner Howard. Okay.
I'll second that.
Want to second that?
That was a short
I was trying to
discussion.
make motions and now.
Now they're throwing it right at me.
Look what happens. There we go. All right. We have a motion on the table.
Gotcha. And that motion was made by Mr.
Commissioner
Gibson
Gibson.
and seconded by
By Joel.
Mr. Johnson. All right. So Commissioner Joel Johnson.
Oh, aye.
Okay. Commissioner Keith Gibson.
Aye.
Commissioner Mary Howard.
Aye.
Vice Chair Sean Taylor.
Yes.
All right. Everything passed.
Could have voted for no.
Congratulations.
You could have, Sean. That was your chance.
Wow, there we go. So now I guess it's got to change that. We also have now another action item to move the meeting times to start at 5:30 PM. Anybody have any problem with that?
I motion we move the meeting time to 5:30 PM.
Do we have a I'll second that.
I guess there's no discussion. We're good. Oh, it was your request?
Do we have a vote, please?
Okay, Commissioner Joel Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Keith Gibson.
Aye.
Do I now say Vice Chair Mary Howard?
Yes, very good.
And Chair Sean Taylor.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion passes. There we go.
Your first item of business
Wow.
as chair and vice chair. Meeting
First big
times.
deal.
Do we feel so good about ourselves?
That we moved to only have one meeting a month? No.
That's not gonna happen.
No.
So moved.
I'm kidding. Do we have any reports? Donna?
So we have things that are floating around in the woodwork that will be coming forward for public hearing, but that won't be happening at our next meeting. So right now, the 22nd is looking like a call-in meeting to approve the work that we did tonight. But the flip side is that we've been trying to get a meeting on the books for the joint planning and zoning city council workshop. And I don't know if city council will jump at this opportunity to meet on the 22nd or not. So, don't hold your breath that there won't be a meeting.
Okay. In other words, don't make any
Our
plans.
February meetings are sliding around the calendar as well. I don't have that right in front of me. Let's see. I think I printed it, but I may not have brought it.
February 5th.
First one, like the
The
6th.
19th is a holiday.
So it's the 5th is the regular first meeting in the month, and then it's the 4th meeting in the month for the last one. So it's kind of screwbally, because what we did is we shifted it a week if we ran into a holiday, just to make sure we could get 2 meetings a month. 'Cause
Obviously,
I knew it was
President's
getting
Weekend.
kind of
So
crazy.
tell me those dates, please.
5th and 26th.
March, or February?
February 5th and 26th.
We'll be here for both.
Are you saying 26?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the weekend, the week,
Some-
Monday before is President's Weekend. Is that- or
And
President's
that's a
Day?
Monday.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still here. I didn't bring my phone with me.
So the Hayden Sky preliminary PUD public meeting and the Trail Creek Estates that we heard tonight, we'll look at the written recommendation to City Council on the 22nd, and it will go to public meeting on the 23rd. And then the NLT zone map amendment that you looked at tonight for the written recommendation, it goes through the noticing process again, so it will be at the first council meeting in February before it gets heard.
I will not be at the March 4th meeting.
Oh, boy.
Okay. A lot of notice for Mary.
No, the oh boy is that I'm not home. I'm not here.
Oh, well, that'll
I
be
don't
fun.
fly back until the Tuesday.
Okay, well, we'll look at March then in February.
I'm in Alaska, so.
Okay.
No, you're in Idaho.
Keith, you're on the hook.
Up to the backup, yeah.
I should be back.
So I want you guys all to welcome Shannon. She's back on our team and
So excited.
we're excited because those minutes and written recommendations last time, just about, did me, and anyway.
Yeah.
Do we have a new mayor yet, or has Alan been
Tomorrow
seen? Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Okay.
Tomorrow night.
And it's here and he bought everybody pizza, right?
You told him that? You needed.
No, that's
to
what he
do
said.
that?
All right, that's all I have.
Okay,
Okay,
meeting is adjourned.
awesome.
Well, hey, all right.
There we go.
Yes.